Despite the many troubles that have befallen the Gulf Coast these last few years, there's no better place in these United States to have a good meal, hear good music, and have a good time in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm Nelson George from BlackAtlas.com, and welcome to New Orleans. Mardi Gras only happens one time a year, usually in February or March, but you can experience Mardi Gras almost any time of the year at Blaine Kern's Mardi Gras World, here by the water in New Orleans. It's where they make these great floats, it's where they store them all year round. And in fact, the floats that are made here are sent around the globe. You can find them in Beijing in parades, Montreal parades, Vegas, even Disneyland. It really comes out of New Orleans and it travels around the globe. So even if you miss the partying that happens in February, March, you can experience it in a very different way here at Mardi Gras World. I am in the Marigny section of New Orleans, which is way away from where the tourists go. It's really a residential area with great, beautiful housing and some really fun little shops and cafes. I'm in the Cake Cafe in the Marigny. It's really internationally known. It's to make excellent, excellent cakes and pies. Also, if you come here, you get a real sense of New Orleans, the city, and not New Orleans, a tourist destination. So the Cake Cafe in the Marigny is a place I really recommend.
Here are all the cupcakes that you ordered, sir.
Oh my God. I got a little out of control here. I've been to New Orleans many times before I'd ever been to Frenchmen Street. Being a tourist, I would go to Canal Street, I would go to Bourbon Street and places like that. But Frenchmen Street was turned on to me about 2 or 3 years ago by someone who lives here, and really, it's really become one of my favorite places in New Orleans. It's a strip of about 2 or 3 blocks in the Marigny section of restaurants, cafes, and nightclubs. There's great jazz here, like the Snug Harbor. There's great kind of more danceable, like collegiate bar vibe at the Blue Nile. It's a place, if you come to New Orleans, you really need to come to get a real sense of the city in a different kind of way. One of the real signature spots on Frenchmen Street is a Praline Connection. It's a black-owned restaurant that's been here for many, many years. It's owned by a couple of brothers. I've been coming to this spot for at least 10 years. Really good Creole food, fried, big sauces. They have a buffet plate I've had here that has everything fried but the kitchen sink. It's damn good. If you're looking for that real Creole, Cajun, New Orleans, heavy fried, saucy thing, Praline Connection's the spot to go to. One of the greatest musicians to ever live in the United States of America, one of the greatest musicians in the world, Louis Armstrong, native son of New Orleans, and this park behind me is named after him. Also very significant about his park here is that it contains what was Congo Square. And Congo Square is where the black freedmen would gather on Sundays to play drums, to make music, and create a lot of the rhythms and beats that will become identified with jazz. In many cases, the argument is made that Congo Square is actually the birthplace of jazz. I am here at the Domino Record Store. I'm talking to Melissa Weber, who is better known here as
DJ Soul Sister.
You're one of the few women in the digger world. Talk about what a digger is.
Yes, Crate Diggers, we go all over the world to look for vinyl, funky soul vinyl, crazy beats, whatever we want. I'm known as the queen of rare groove, and all I play is wax.
You're a historian of the music. Is there still good music being made in New Orleans?
Of course there is. I mean, the music culture of New Orleans really comes from the streets.
Tell me about this store and why we're here.
Well, Domino Sound Record Shack is my favorite record store in the city. It's almost like a community place. You can come here and listen to the records, and everything is priced super low.
Talk about your favorite spots to eat. So if people come to town and want to have a meal, where would you go?
I'm gonna go to Dick and Jenny's, and I'm gonna have shrimp and grits, barbecue shrimp and grits. A few steps down is Tipitina's, which is our legendary New Orleans music club in honor of the song Tipitina by Professor Longhair, and Cafe Achafalaya. Really great Louisiana comfort food.
And that was Nelson George from BlackAtlas.com at Domino Records in Mid-City?
That's right.
Okay, thank you. All right, so here we are at the famous Cafe Du Monde. It's been in business since the 1860s, and it's known for this thing right here, the beignet. I'm not going to even attempt to describe what it is other than to say that it is full of dough. It is very tasty and has white powder on it, and people eat a lot of these. Don't you wish you were here right now? You know you do. Pretty damn good. Laura Isabor here at the Very Loud Essence Music Festival. How are you, Laura?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Good, good. Now, how often have you been in New Orleans?
This is only my second time. I came here last year. I performed on the main stage.
Ah.
Yes, I was on tour with Maxwell, so it was great because we got to be on the same show together.
If there's one thing that an American audience, your first album, Getting Used to You, what is it you want them to understand about what you do as an artist?
I think for me, where I come from, and what I do has never been in a box. So to move forward with my fans and people that maybe don't know me is to just embrace everything I do.
What is it about New Orleans that struck you in your brief visit here?
The one thing has to be the warmth of the people. One of the nicest kind of welcoming energy I've really felt.
So, Kelsey George, BlackAdams.com. Talking with Laura Isabor here at the Loud Convention Center. Well, the French Market is another great destination here in New Orleans. There's all kinds of shops. You get your beads, your hats. Back in the day it was more of a food market, but now it's more of a sort of a touristy kind of vibe. But you're a tourist, right? New Orleans is still a fantastic travel destination. The food is amazing. You get the beignets at Cafe Du Monde, great food at places like the Praline Connection, and all the great Creole and Cajun restaurants in this town. Music, of course, Frenchman Street jazz musicians, people like Melissa Weber, DJ Soul Sister holding down for funk, and of course the Essence Music Festival here every July. You're gonna go someplace for a weekend? Have a good time? This is still a great place to visit. Nelson George from BlackAtlas.com. Get you in the air.